You've probably heard near-death experience stories before, but this one is unlike any other. This is a story about a man who traveled to the afterlife and saw insane things. Get comfortable, open your mind, and let this story transport you beyond the veil of the unknown. This man claims he left his body and saw what happens after death. What he reveals will make you wonder if there is really a place like that. His name is Dean Braxton, a man who claims he is bringing us a message from God himself. In most near-death experiences, people are gone for just a few minutes, maybe 8 to 10 at most. But Dean Braxton's story, it's on a whole different level. He was clinically dead for a record-breaking 1 hour and 45 minutes. This wasn't just a glimpse of the afterlife, it was an entire journey. And what he brought back is unlike anything you've ever heard before. We can definitely confirm that.
So I had people that worked under me, and then I also ran specialty programs called, some people out there will know it's drug court, treatment court. And treatment court was for...
Dean was an ordinary man, working as a probation officer for adolescents, a job he loved. He lived a normal life, but health issues would flare up from time to time. He had dealt with kidney stones before, so when the familiar pain struck, he assumed it was just another episode. But this time something felt off. The pain didn't subside, it only grew worse. That's when he knew this wasn't like the others. He had to see a doctor. Doctors initially thought it was a straightforward case, a kidney stone, and an infection. Nothing they hadn't treated before. They gave Dean antibiotics and morphine for the pain, deciding to keep him overnight before surgery. The procedure went smoothly, and the stones were removed. But instead of getting better, Dean got worse, much worse. His body wasn't responding to the antibiotics. His organs were struggling. The doctors did everything they could, but deep down they knew they were losing him. Something was happening that medicine couldn't stop. And in that moment, Dean's journey took a turn and set everyone off guard. Get ready, the journey is about to begin. Dean knew what was about to happen. He felt it in his bones. And then, the moment arrived. As he took his final breath, an invisible force pulled him from his body with unimaginable speed. He shot through the stars, weightless, soaring higher and higher. The world he left behind was nothing but a distant memory. Before he could even process it, he was already there, immersed in a blinding, radiant light. But this wasn't just light. It was a window of light, calling him to come. Dean claimed everything around him was welcoming him, even flowers in the trees, filling him with peace he had never known. This man had only one mission, to meet God himself. Being deeply religious, Dean knew without a doubt that he had entered heaven. But it wasn't just a feeling, it was a pull, an undeniable force drawing him towards something greater. He found himself in a breathtaking forest, unlike anything on earth. As he walked through the tall trees, he felt God's presence growing stronger with every step. The air was filled with warmth and love, filling him with a peace he had never known. And then, the trees parted, revealing a vast clearing. There before him stood Jesus Christ, surrounded by angels and countless souls, people who had lived, died, and now existed in pure joy. The air was alive with celebration, a happiness so deep it was almost overwhelming. Dean wasn't just seeing heaven, he was home.
And when they took the tube out of my mouth, I just remember these words, and they were the first words I said. You know there's a Jesus. You don't have to hope there's a Jesus. You don't have to wish there's a Jesus. There's a Jesus.
At that moment, as Dean stepped closer, an overwhelming wave of gratitude flooded his soul. He was in heaven. He was with Jesus. And the love he felt radiating from him was so powerful, so all-consuming, that it brought him to his knees. It was then that Dean realized only his body had died. His soul was alive, more alive than ever. Looking at the people, the angels, and other radiant beings around him, he suddenly understood. Life didn't end. It never did. He would live forever. Then he heard the words that changed everything. Go back. It's not your time yet. The voice of Jesus was gentle but firm, and in that very moment, Dean felt peace. He didn't fight it. He accepted it. But something was different now. Instead of walking back through the forest, he felt himself lifted, soaring, weightless, flying above heaven's vast beauty. The colors, the light, the sheer magnificence of it all. It was beyond words. But then, something odd happened. Something Dean never expected. Even he couldn't believe it.
He ended up getting an infection with the procedure, and this led to sepsis, cardiac arrest, multi-system organ failure. Dean died. He was clinically dead for an hour and 45 minutes.
He felt it. His body wasn't ready yet. A surge of joy washed over him. He wasn't going back. Not yet. In that moment, he embraced the wonder of where he was. Instead of returning, he turned the other way, drawn to what lay beyond. Mountains moved like waves, shifting in a mesmerizing, almost living motion. The sight was magical beyond anything he had ever imagined. But then he remembers hearing a whisper in his soul. Jesus speaking again. Go back. But something was different. Another shock. His body still wasn't ready. He wasn't leaving just yet. And what he saw next left him speechless. Heaven was alive. He saw animals, all of God's creation, existing in perfect harmony. And then he saw them, generations upon generations of his family, relatives he had never even met in life, waiting for him. He was thrilled. This was it. He was staying. Dean's face lights up every time he tells his story, as if he's reliving it all over again. But then, his voice shakes, because he remembers the final moment. God spoke one last time. Go back. And just like that, it happened. The elevator feeling, but this time, he was falling, descending. He saw his body, cold, lifeless. Doctors standing over him, signing his death certificate. The moment he slammed back into his body, the medical equipment went wild. The machines beeped and screeched. Doctors jumped back in shock. Dean Braxton was alive.
John? John? He's starting to come out of it. John, can you hear me? You're in a hospital. You were in an accident.
His story touched countless lives and left many questions hanging in the air. Is our consciousness at the moment of death simply projecting our deepest desires, or is heaven truly real? What do you think happened here? Science or the supernatural? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated on the latest near-death experiences.